Hey, what's the thought, beloved? This is Jabril. To our one community, let me extend to my brothers and sisters. Today, I'm going to be continuing a topic that I've been doing recently, which is the fear of failure. Behind me, I have 3 students who are sophomores, all boys, and I'm going to be asking them questions, and they're going to be giving me their responses as honest and as open as possible. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, okay? So, thank you. All right, so introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Khaled. I'm a sophomore at Oakland High School.
How old are you?
15.
Okay.
I'm Omar. I'm a sophomore. I'm 15.
All right.
My name is Baha. I'm a sophomore. I'm 15 years old too.
All right. Now, these 3 guys actually came a couple days ago to the podcast. However, the audio didn't work, unfortunately. So they're back, and I want to say thank you guys again. And I appreciate you all for coming on again to talk with me and discuss this, all right? I want to make clear that mental health is a very, very important issue, especially with people our age, and that we all take this seriously. So, with that being said, the fear of failure. When I ask you, once again, what the fear of failure is to you, now that you've already done the video and you kind of understand, what do you have to say about that now?
Kind of like the same thing I said last time. Embarrassment. Embarrassment is one of the biggest factors of when like the fear of failure. Because if I fail, like, how would people look at me? How would people talk about me? How would it will affect me? Also, letting other people down, like what we said last time. Like I don't want to let my family down. I don't want to let my friends down. And if I fail, it's gonna be really embarrassing. And how. Like I always think, how would they view me? How would they talk about me? How would they change?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think of the fear of failure.
Change. What do you mean by change?
Like, if I fail and I don't achieve what I'm trying to achieve, how would they switch up? How would they act different towards me?
Yeah. Have you had moments like that where they've shown signs that that could be a possibility?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, many stories. Like once, I didn't make I think it was like the basketball team back in. I never thought I was gonna make it, and I didn't make it back in it was like 7th, 6th grade, and everyone just started acting different. They started, talking about me, saying, "Oh, I'm garbage. You're never gonna make it, whatever, blah blah blah," like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
So
the stories.
with the family and something as small as even making a basketball team, to you that seemed important and you probably felt that type of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
With that, such a small example, that can still be used in many different ways where you maybe strive for a certain amount of success in your life and you feel pressured by those around you, even your family, to do that. And if you come up short, then they kind of criticize you and they bring you down almost. So that could bring a fear of failure again.
And also the embarrassment part, like I remember one of the stories I said last time is how I liked this girl and she straight up called me ugly in front of everyone, and that was really embarrassing towards me because it was in front of everyone.
Wait,
and
hold that.
What?
I wanna wait for that story. I know exactly where you're about to go with that, but I wanna wait later on into the video to get into that.
All right, for sure.
Baha has a really good story, guys, that I want him to tell. But I want to get to the other guys, but we're definitely gonna get to that story.
All right.
Omar, now, with you being on here for your 2nd time, last time you were a little bit shaky on how to answer the questions, but you seem more confident now, which I love. So when I ask you the question again, how does the fear of failure pertain to your life? What would you say now?
Like kind of similar to what I said, but I'm also like really big on like what he said about the embarrassment part, because that's also like really big to me.
Yeah.
But like mostly it's like kind of letting others down, because like I wouldn't say like 100% of the time, but I feel like 80 or like 85% of the time, it's not like failing itself that really bothers me. It's like the letting others down. Like it doesn't like matter. Oh, it's like only my family that counts to. It's like everyone. Like I hate like letting people down in general. Like if I mess up, how would it affect them? How would it affect like what they're trying to do? Like that's like really big to me.
Yeah, and I remember the other day when you came on, you mentioned that how you said right now that it's not necessarily about the fear of failure. It's about how will your consequences or outcomes affect those that's right behind you, that's on the side of you. You know, how could something that you may think is good for you and then it happens to just may possibly go wrong, how could that negatively impact their lives? And that's what you are afraid of.
Yeah, and like another thing that like makes it way worse to me is like if something's gonna happen or I'm trying to do something or like I'm thinking about a situation, like I feel like the overthinking part of it just makes the fear of failing, the fear of messing up way bigger because I spend like I'd like can't sleep or something because I'm thinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
I spend like hours like just thinking about it, like making myself even more scared, even more nervous. So that's like real like something that's like a major part of my life is like the overthinking aspect of things.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, Cal. So, my boy Callan, man, he's back on here, and he's ready to speak his truth. All right. So, Callan, how do you feel about what they said?
I agree with everything they said. Like what Bahad said about embarrassment. Like I've been embarrassed multiple times. It wasn't like some of them, yeah, they were like big things, but it still bothered me. Some of them were small things. Doesn't matter. And what Omar said about letting others down,
Yeah.
letting your family down and stuff like that, friends, everyone. I completely agree with that.
So, your fear of failure, it's because in my writings I had the fear of embarrassment, the fear of disappointment, and the other one actually was the fear of ending up like those around you, which I've noticed no one's mentioned, and that was because that particular example is something that goes over a lot of people's heads. So it seemed like you guys are all in agreement with each other, right? So you guys mentioned the fear of embarrassment and the fear of being a disappointment, right? And I personally want to share something with you guys on how I relate to that. I come from a single parent home. You know, my mother, just my mother who's been taking care of me and raising me. My father is in prison. So she's dealing with all these different things trying to raise a young boy going into a man, and she has cancer, and she's unemployed right now. And just the other day, actually, she comes to me. I'll give you backstory. My mother doesn't have a lot of people to go to. So with me being the guy in the house, she sees me as like the growing man, as like almost the leader sometimes, the person that she can turn to. You know, whenever things get overwhelming, how you said that you tend to overthink, Omar, well, my mother, when she tends to overthink, who can she go to? So she kind of throws some of her pain onto me as well, letting me know what's going on. And the reason I say I can relate to you guys is because, well, what do you think that does to a young boy when he sees his mother crying out for help? Obviously, that's going to make me want to do what?
Try to help out.
Exactly. Try to take over things and have this drive for success. And I see that in all three of you, that you want to prove something almost. Like, you want to be that man who can provide for your families. And that's amazing. And that's exactly how you should see it. You know, something you want to say,
Yeah,
Omar?
I want to like add on, like two things. First, like I feel like the fear of failure or like the overthinking part, just make me like not want to do things in general sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even want to have that on my mind, so I just don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Or like just give up on it sometimes. But like about what you said, like about like the personal stuff, like I honestly 100% agree with you, cause like my parents, they came from Jordan overseas. My dad used to fly back and forth, cause we were like back then they were broke, like they had nothing.
Yeah.
And my dad like worked as hard as possible, and he used to fly back and forth from Jordan to the U.S., leaving my mom and my sister behind, try to build something over here. Like he's had like heart attacks, surgeries. He's had cancer too. He's been through like a lot of stuff, but he still like tried to build something for our family. No matter what happened to him, he always like tried to put us first. And like I really agree with that, because that type of stuff really adds on to like the fear of failure, because when your parents tried so hard or like worked so hard to like get you somewhere or to help you out and to raise you, that just makes letting them down way worse to me.
Yeah. And that was amazing that you shared that story, because I'm sure these two guys could relate to that. But do you have moments where any examples with your family where
Same thing with Omar. My dad came here with nothing, But I always think about like, imagine his fear of failure. Like, imagine he failed and couldn't build a foundation for me and my family. So I always think about, okay, if he could have done it, I could do it too. Because he could have failed and we would all been screwed. But now he kept going, and even though he may have feared failure, he still kept on going and built a great foundation for me and my family to come to this country and live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he did what all my parents did. He flew back and forth, but he was still able to maintain a good foundation, like a good, place where me and my family can stay.
And when you see your father doing all these things, how does that make you feel?
It motivates me, so whatever he made, I can like make more and make him more comfortable than he is right now.
So you want to go past what he did, even
Of course.
carry the legacy even further.
Of course.
And so when you're trying to do that, or when you think about that, being so young, does that ever bring you to a dark place where it's like, what if it doesn't happen? Like, can I actually do this? Like,
Oh yeah, of course. I would think about it, but every time I go to that dark place, I always have someone to speak about it, like speak to it about.
Yeah.
Like it could be either my friend, my cousin, or even my dad. He always tells me no matter what, even if you fail or succeed, he'll always like support me, like always support me. My dad's like one of the only people who want to see him be better than himself.
mhm.
I feel like.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Kevin, let's hear what you have to say.
So same thing with my dad. He would like, before he got married, he worked like really really hard to make money, so he could have a family.
Mm-hmm.
And like he would always like fly back and forth from America to Bahrain, to Jordan, to Palestine, everywhere, with his uncle and I think his younger brother. They tried so much, like, and once they finally did make money, he started a family and he like did everything he could to make sure we're comfortable
Mm-hmm.
where we're at. And like all the time I tell him like, one day I'm gonna buy you a house, one day I'm gonna buy you a car, this that. He just laughs. He thinks it's like a joke.
Yeah.
But I'm like 100% like serious. Like there's not a doubt in my mind. Like I don't want to fail him like that, because after he went through all that things just to make me, my sisters, my mom comfortable.
Mhm.
Even some of his siblings, he gives them money all the time.
Yeah.
And like I just want to be able to like make him comfortable, make my mom comfortable in a house of their own, where they don't have to work, where they don't have to, they could just relax, they could have a break.
Yeah.
Instead of taking care of us.
And that's the dream, be able to provide for your family, just to know that you did it. Oh my, I feel like you're itching to say something right now.
No, I agree, cause like with my dad, like when he would go back and forth, when he like first brought my mom and my sister,
Yeah.
they used to live in a small apartment, but it wasn't even their apartment. They used to live with people, like their friend from somewhere. So he would still kept on going back and forth, cause they were broke at the time. And like when I first moved to the U.S., we lived in like a crappy rented house, and which was like impressive to him, cause like that was after everything, like the apartments in Jordan to the apartment here, to like being able to rent a house. And after a while, my dad was able to buy a house and stuff like that. But my dad like always tells me like your future and like your success is like based on your decisions on what you do and how you go about things.
Yeah.
And that just like kind of like scares me, because about like failing, not like being able to be what
No, I get what you're saying.
yeah. And like about like the dark place, about like when you think about that, like to me that like kind of like makes me spiral into like overthinking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because like once I start like thinking about something, I can't stop. Like I can like spend hours at night, because I don't like really talk to anybody about it. Like there might be like a couple people, but I don't really talk to them about that type of stuff. So I just like be in my room thinking about that stuff, and that just like kind of makes everything go worse. Makes me like more scared to fail, or make me fail even more.
I can tell that you're actually going through some shit. I can look at your eyes, and I can see that the way that you talk, you like skedaddle almost over your words. It's when when we go through things, and I want all of you to hear this, when people go through things, they tend to suppress it. They tend to keep it in because in their minds, well, everyone's going through something. Who am I to just throw it out on other people? It almost feels forbidden to speak about. So as I'm listening to you, it's actually making me kind of emotional because I know I kind of feel for you almost because I know those moments when you're laying down and you're thinking in your room and it's dark and your life is just right in front of your eyes and what's going to happen. But the thing is, my point, when you're talking to me right now, it's like you're trying to get something out of you. It's almost as if like you hardly ever explain how you feel. So whenever you're put into moments like this, it's so difficult. And I want to make sure that people understand this who watch this. Expressing yourself is a skill. It's an exercise. It's not something that you can just be able to do so easily. And I can tell that you're at a level where it may be difficult because you don't do it all the time. You're not always constantly having moments like this where you're discussing your mental health. And I know that there's other people out there who feel that way, who when they try to explain, they'll cry out for help, and then when someone says, okay, what's wrong, they don't know what to say because for so many years they've been trying to get it out, but no one's paid attention. And now that someone finally has, it's like so much has built up. When they try to explain it, everything just comes out at once. It's so unorganized. So with all three of you, I completely get what each and every one of you are saying. And I want to go to the fear of embarrassment. All right, we've talked about letting down and being a disappointment to our families. So the fear of embarrassment, the other day, Omar, you were mentioning to me about, actually Khaled had brought it up first. You said how back then, you were chubby and your physical appearance would be critiqued up to you about you from your family and certain things that they would say. I want you to explain that again.
So basically, when I was younger, we always, like, our family, it's close, like my cousins, my aunts, uncles, and everything. We're all close. We always go to my uncle's house, have dinner, like we have a get-together. We call it in Arabic, it's called azuma, okay? And the whole family's there, everything, we all sit. Usually I'm with my cousins, but sometimes we sit with, like, the adults for a little, like, just out of respect to hear their, like, conversations, whatever. And they're, like, they just, like, say things as a joke, obviously. I understand that they say it as a joke, but, like, they'll call, oh, you're getting big, you're getting chubbier, you're getting, like, rolls, all of it in Arabic. And it's just, like, I just, like, laugh at it. I just giggle or just go, ha ha.
Yeah.
Just, like, something like that. I don't take it to heart. When obviously I do,
but you don't
but
show it.
not showing it.
Yeah.
So, like, recently I started going to the gym. And I've been, like, losing weight. I lost, like, I think 15 pounds in, like, 3 weeks or 4.
Let's clap it up for him, guys. Let's clap it up for him. All right, congratulations.
And he's been training me and whatever and all
Really?
that. So I'm, like, whenever I get made fun of for something, I try to, like, make it, like, a strength.
Yeah.
Like, something they can't talk to me about. And yeah, basically, like, they don't say many things anymore. And now they talk about my hair or whatever. And yeah, they always
They find something new to talk shit
they
about.
find something.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't blame them for it because that's how they were, like, raised.
Yeah.
They were raised in, like, those types of environments.
Judgmental one.
Yeah, and with those families, I feel like we've all had those people in our families who, make jokes about us. And like you said, they don't mean for it to offend you or anything, But it can very well make us self-conscious about ourselves, and it clearly has, the littlest things could be the reason why we go on to change ourselves completely. So it's like a weird area, and I was mentioning in the videos that it's amazing that you were able to take that and, start working on yourself, but it just sucks that the reason you chose to do that was because someone had said something about you, so it's like a weird thing right there. Omar, has there been times where you've experienced embarrassment? I remember actually you had said something that you had these group of friends and they would say to you about you talking a lot and then you started to talk less.
Yeah. That was like I used to, like, get called, like, annoying a lot.
Yeah.
So I, like, kind of, like, stopped. It kind of like made me like stop talking and stop being like as energetic. Like I'm energetic around like maybe like a couple people that I'm really close to, but like not really like around like a lot of other people. But like with what Khalid said, like same thing happened to me. Like I used to be really fat. I was like short and fat, and I kind of like got made fun of by family, maybe a couple of friends, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I started to lose weight. But actually 2 years ago, me and him were the ones that started working out together.
Yeah.
We like kind of tried getting each other into going to the gym. We started working out together, and like that was like really helpful at the time. But like something about that type of stuff is that once like people make fun of you for like how you look, even if you change it, you might like maybe you might lose weight in a really unhealthy way, or might like try to like lose weight in an unhealthy way, which can like ruin your health. But at the same time, like something else is like even if you lose weight, even if you become like built or muscular, you might still not like the way you look, or you might not still see
You still, even though you've changed the person who they would talk about, you still only see you as that same individual.
So people might be built or got skinny. They still don't want to take the shirts off when they're swimming, stuff like that, because of what people said to them.
Yeah. And to add on to that, I told you guys a couple days ago when we were actually having this exact conversation that I used to be chubby as well. In my family, I told you guys that they said I had titties. And so when they would tell me that, when my father was out of prison at the time, he was actually a coach, so he was involved. I don't know if you guys know Simeon High School, but he was a coach for a high school. So he would have me doing workouts, and I was in track and tennis and stuff. But once he went to prison and away, I was no longer doing that. He went to prison when I was 7 years old. So as I started to grow, as we boys grow, you get chubbier, before you get taller. And so they would mention things about me, and that would lead me to start working out from home. So I've always been working out from home and taking care of myself. And it just sucks that when someone says something to you, it just sticks with you forever. Even if you do go on to try to improve yourself, you still sometimes feel like you're that same individual. Now, if I had last week, and you were actually earlier about to tell me the story, I want to get to that story now about when you were in 6th grade or 7th grade, I believe. So can you tell us that,
I want to
please?
say something about what he told me. It
Yeah,
was like
go ahead.
I always remember what he told me, because like I think it was 2 years ago, right? Like the reason why you started working out.
Oh yeah.
Hashan.
Yeah, it's just to put it like the main reason I started working out and stuck with it is because like I like even if like just to defend myself, because like back then I wasn't really chubby, but I was really skinny. So if I ever like if my friend was getting beat up or I was getting beat up, like how am I gonna protect? Like I don't have any strengths to protect myself. So that's the main reason I work out, and I just stuck with it till 8th grade till now. Just stuck with it because I always want to be strong, healthy, and make sure like if someone tries to attack me, I'm strong enough to defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the main reason I started working out.
So I love that, and it's like weird because there's probably a bunch of other people. There's always each of you have like your own separate stories as to why you started to improve yourself, and yours was to protect yourself. And I didn't even think of that being a possibility as to why someone would work out, and that goes to show that no, that is real. People want to change themselves because they want to be able to not be hurt anymore, but to bring it back to the story that you were going to tell, can you tell us that, please?
So I was starting in 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this girl liked me, and I seen how the girl looked like, and I thought she was really, really beautiful. So, I started talking to her in class, and I told her, how I felt, and she just looked at me. She's like, "Nah, you're ugly," and walked away in front of everyone. Everyone started laughing. So ever since then, I just laughed it off, whatever, me too. But when I got home, I thought about it. I was really embarrassed. Everyone wasn't laughing with me; they were laughing at me, and that really okay, yeah, she called you ugly, whatever. But like when a young kid like to experience something like that they never experienced before, like it hits different. It just hits you different, and I kind of overcame after a while. Cause I don't know, you just have to learn from your mistakes. you know. And then yeah, and ever since I've been trying to improve myself, focusing on myself, everything like that. And yeah, that's the story. That's the story. Is sometimes like I think about it today. I was like, damn, that happened. But like, I just like it's whatever, you know. I just see it as like another memory.
Yeah, and I'll speak on one thing you said. You called it a mistake. Learn from your mistakes. I want to say, dude, you didn't make a mistake at all. Okay, she made a mistake. She literally impacted someone's life negatively, and you know, we're not gonna judge her because she was a kid.
Yeah.
She was young. She didn't know what she was doing, or even if she did, so what, you know? But the point is, and I've mentioned this in the other video that I made when I was recapping what you guys were saying to me, how someone can just say something so innocent in a moment, and then that be the reason why that person who they said it to maybe hates themselves, you know? And even, if we're being real, sometimes even kills themselves later on. Because it gets so serious where you start to look at yourself and you wake up every day and you see that person in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth or when you're just trying to work out and you look in the mirror to see if there's a difference. You only still see that same person that you hate. And when you constantly see that all the time, it can lead someone to just resent them for who they are and feel that there's no way out. And so they only, can you imagine someone feeling that the only way out is to take their lives? I mean, can you guys imagine that? Like, someone feels that the best way for them to get through their problems is to slit their wrist or to put a bullet in their heads or to take a bunch of pills or to even slowly kill themselves, to smoke their lives away. You know, because I have people who around me are really doing that, who are drug addicts because of something that happened to them. I have people in my family who do cocaine, who done heroin. I have people in my friend groups who smoke all the time. Something that put themselves in a position where they feel that they have to slowly deteriorate their own body because of something that may have happened early on in life. So I wanted to just let you tell that story so I can make that point because that is a very powerful moment. Now, all right, guys, so this is only part one of the video with these guys. And like I said, I want to thank you all three for coming on today. This was an amazing video, and I hope that when you guys look at this, I hope you enjoy it and take in everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do this outro. All right, from the most serious to the simplest of issues. People, young people specifically, deal with these types of problems daily. We never know how what they are going through actually affects them, but it can affect us mentally, potentially moving us to hurt others and or ourselves, even going so far as to commit suicide. So this is me leaving my door open for us to have a chance to talk, and I hope others will do the same and join us. Remember to go and inspire somebody, beloved, as we close. One community, one world, be peaceful. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. Of course. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Of course, man.
Bro goes from Mr. Back Blower to mental health activist.
Oh, you good.